I'm here today with the fantastic Charles Dowding at his garden here in Homemakers. Charles Dowding is a real champion of no-dig gardening. And Charles, for you, what's the principle behind no-dig, and why do you think it's so important that people should find out about no-dig?
Um, to answer the second question first, it's so easy.
Yep.
It's so easy. You save a lot of work, save a lot of time, and you actually get better results. So really, there's not much not to like. And it's simple. It's simply a question of leaving soil alone and feeding on the surface, which is how nature works, as organic matter lands on top, and then you get things like worms. Everything in the soil is used to coming up to the surface to feed.
Yeah.
So all the food is there for it. And that's where the saying comes from. It's a really good saying, feed the soil, not the plants.
Okay.
That's how you want to train your mind to work. So when you're applying a mulch of, say, compost, you're not thinking, oh, I'm putting a lot on here, say, for potatoes next year because they're heavy feeders. I never think like that. I'm always just thinking, I just feed my soul. I actually put the same amount of compost on all my beds, whatever I'm going to grow.
Okay.
This simplifies things.
Yeah.
It makes gardening, literally easy, because the main thing you need to know is how to look after your soil, which is not difficult. You leave it alone.
Yeah.
Feed the soil life.
And then your soil looks after your flowers.
Exactly. Because of these things like the fungal network in there, all these mycelia.
Yeah.
That will grow little mushrooms eventually, but basically they're there all the time, and they team up with roots and help them to access food and moisture, and in return the roots feed them with carbon from sunlight energy. So there's a whole lot of things going on in there that we don't really know a lot about, and we certainly don't ever see, but you just have to trust your soul.
So did you get interested in no-dig because you started thinking about all these, the biodiversity in your soil and everything like that? Or was it just, were you just a bit lazy? Or what actually got you into no-dig in the first place?
I struggle to answer that because it just felt the right thing to do. That's really as much as I can say.
It was a bit an intuitive thing for you then?
I guess so, yeah. It was back in the early 80s when the first thing I did was to rotivate. Tractor rotivator, an acre and a half of ground, because I was starting a market garden in 1982, in summer 82, and so I got all the soil rotivated, and then I got my spade and took soil out of what became pathways, put it onto what became beds. Yeah. And so I had this nice sort of ridge and furrow effect, and that took quite a long time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
and then I thought, well, what's my next step? And I'd come across this book by a lady called Ruth Stout, an American gardener, the 40s, 50s, 60s, talking about no-dig. She called it no-work gardening, and so obviously it was a bestseller. But she was mulching with hay, and so I thought, well, I'll just copy her, and I'll go no-dig, and because it just looked sensible. Why not? And my main concern was weeds. I'd been around market gardens, organic market gardens, before that, and all I'd seen was weeds. Yeah. And I'd seen growers depressed by weeds, and I just thought, I don't want that to be me. Yeah. So mulching, I figured, hey, that'll stop the weeds growing. That's mainly what I was thinking about when I put that hay on. Yeah. It wasn't so much feeding the soil. And then, anyway, I copied Ruth and did that. And then the following spring, I planted out my Brussels sprouts and cabbage and lettuce. And, oh my word, they all got eaten by slugs. So I went back to the book and I thought, well, she doesn't mention this. And it turns out she's in a dry climate.
Yeah, she's not from Somerset.
Exactly. So that taught me about, being careful where you take advice. And it's true for your listeners, make sure you know where this comes from and is it appropriate to where you are. It's just appropriateness, really. Yeah. So I developed the same system, but using compost instead of hay, basically.
Okay.
And then as time has gone on, I just got more and more interested in why is this working so well? Yeah. And the whole thing about biology and fungal networks, I knew hardly anything about it when I began. Okay. So it's learning all the time, which is one of the great things about gardening, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You never stop learning.
Yeah, I think if you're not learning, you're doing something wrong, aren't you? Yeah. And even you've got 40 years experience in market gardening, and you're still learning stuff. recently, and I would say a huge part of this has to do with your work, people have been getting the idea a little bit about no dig. You do lots of courses, but it has been gathering momentum a little bit in the last few years.
Yeah, taken a while.
And we were saying earlier that it's been around for a century or so.
Probably longer.
Yeah, and people have just been afraid of it, probably for the same reasons that we just spoke about. But why do you think that people are now starting to cotton onto it and starting to get interested in it?
Well, I think social media could be a bit of it, actually, because, I get a lot of comments, slightly the other sense of it, from people saying, well, I've been doing this for a long time, but I'd never called it anything like they didn't call it no dig. But also they're a bit self-conscious about it. It's like that feeling we've alluded to, that I'm not doing a proper job here.
Yeah.
So it has been going on kind of unrecognised, being practiced, I think, by more people than we know. And well done if you're one of them. But now it's out there, and thanks to my work and being able to promote it like socially and everything like that, it's becoming seen as a more recognisably really worthwhile. It links even to climate change. You're keeping all the carbon in the soil by not releasing any in digging or rotating, that kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the big time-saving aspect, because so few of us have got a lot of spare time, that thing of growing less weeds. But until that, we just had too many vested interests in the way, I think. And I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. You might want to edit this bit out, but it's like, I've people who make rotavators, they've got an interest in getting everyone listening to the idea that plants need loose, fluffy soil to grow in. Which is absolutely not true.
Yeah.
It needs to be firm for good root growth. And people who make fertilizers want us to believe that it's all about nutrients and feeding plants. And these people fund magazines. Their adverts are in there.
Yeah.
And so there's quite a hierarchy of information dispersal that is controlled, even slightly unconsciously, and stopping good information getting out there, because this method, no dig, is liberating.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Charles. It's been truly inspiring seeing your garden as well, and I guarantee you that there are not weeds here. And I haven't seen a spade yet either. But it's been really, really nice to meet you, and thank you so much for your time.
Nice to meet you as well.